the hill come charging the stallions of Araby. Since the beginning of history, these magnificent animals have borne their bright-robed Bedouin riders over the wild landscape, the flinty hillsides of Egypt and Libya, and the deserts and mountains of Arabia. Sure-footed, fleet as bullets, these Arabian horses have been scientifically bred pure for over 4,000 years. Their ancestry rivals that of kings. Over the sands of the Sahara, through the rocky passes of the Libyan mountains, for centuries, these horses and their Arab owners have been part of the color and glamour of the eastern landscape. But say, wait a minute. Maybe we've got our landscapes mixed. This isn't the east. This is the west. You bet it's the west. The Lazy VV Ranch at Nederland, Colorado. That's it, folks. Take off your veils and your turbans and beards. Bedouins into Western riders. Just like that. The horses are the only real Arabians around here. But they are real. For high in the Rockies, 8,600 feet above the sea, amongst the cool glacier-scarred slopes of the Continental Divide, Lynn Van Vleet has established an Arabian laboratory. This sprawling, many-thousand-acre ranch with its bright red-roofed buildings is the birthplace of some of the world's most beautiful and famous horses. Here in 1938, Mr. Van Vleet, or Boss as he's affectionately called, brought 5 pure-blood Arabian stallions. Those 5 stallions have sired the colts that have made the Lazy VV Ranch one of the largest Arabian stud farms in this country. In the ample pasturage, the mares and their colts run and play, happier and healthier at this altitude than their ancestors were in the hot Arabian desert. In spite of their aristocratic lineage, these pure Arabians are just as hungry as ordinary horses when it comes feeding time. Taste good, fella? You bet. A little red salt for seasoning goes well with those oats. The Arabian is one of the gentlest and most affectionate of all horses. But then, who wouldn't be affectionate with a pretty blonde like this to feed you? Oh, jealous, eh? Don't blame you, pal. And this guy rates a kiss, too. Here's a handsome gray, just about as nice a hunk of horse as you'll see anywhere. Now, what's this contraption? Looks like he's going to be measured for a Bedouin robe. Well, not quite, but he is being measured, for that's part of the routine in a colt's life on the Lazy VV Ranch. A very complete record is kept of each colt from birth, and at regular periods, every horse and every colt on the place must have his measurements taken. And maybe you think these fellows don't grow from one measuring period to another. Plenty of good food, pure mountain water, lots of healthy exercise make for quick-growing colts. Yes, they even have their pictures drawn. But being a model gets pretty boring to a young colt, so she has a little fun with Sybil Davis, the boss's secretary. These sketches of the colt's markings are for the records. They, too, are part of the periodic checkup. This record is kept on file, not only at the ranch itself, but also registered in the Arabian Horse Club stud book. Well, that's that. Miss Davis is finished for the day. In this huge barn are the luxurious stalls of the stallions, while the colts and mares are allowed to run wild on the open range. The stallions are kept in stables, but every day they're exercised and groomed to keep them at the peak of condition. Here they are getting their morning beauty treatment. The white one gets his mane brushed, but none are slighted. White, brown, or gray, they all come in for their treatment. And as for that satin finish complexion, well, take a look at this fellow. Arabians are noted for their small, delicate feet. Arabian stallions are gentle, and whether saddled or harnessed to a four-wheel carriage like the one Betty Van Vleet is driving, they are easily handled. Curtis Deans puts Kabar through his paces. The springiness of an Arab's pastern makes for a graceful canter and ease and comfort in riding. And they're quick and supple as the lash of a whip. Not only are these horses perfect physical specimens, but they're one of the most intelligent of any animal. Easily trained and very adaptable, they make wonderful show horses. Kabar's having fun on a teeter-totter. How's that for balance? Playing statues now. What won't those horses think of next? These magnificent animals aren't any spoiled and pampered darlings either. Mr. Van Vleet puts them to work, riding herd on his cattle. When Mr. Van Vleet first brought his stallions to this country, critics said that Arabians would be useful only in low altitudes and dry climates. Just watch them galloping amongst these cattle at an altitude of 10,000 feet. This alone proves his critics wrong. For these horses, despite their ancestry, adapt easily to any altitude or climatic condition. The Arabian horse has one less lumbar vertebrae than most horses. This gives him a short, weight-carrying back. So his small stature and delicate modeling fool most people. Note how gracefully they carry their tails. What high-octane gasoline is to the fighter plane, Arabian blood is to horse breeding. 200 years ago, the Arabian founded the thoroughbred line of horses in England. His blood assisted in founding the American Saddler and the Morgan. Even our tough little Western Mustang has Arab blood in his veins. Yes, the Arabian is as much at home against the magnificent backdrop of Colorado's incomparable scenery as he was in his native desert and hills. And there's nothing he loves more than to be taken out by the Van Vleets or their visitors over the long, winding mountain trails. Through the color-drenched trees of autumn, over the mountain tops and across the valleys. There they go, 4 mares and 4 stallions. The Arabian has been taught to ford streams, but he is still hesitant and shy, because in his native land, water was so scarce that to set foot in it was a punishable offense. This racial memory still stays with these horses, even in their new home. Beautiful Arapahoe Falls on the Van Vleet Ranch, a sample of the scenic grandeur of the Colorado Rockies. And now, toward home again. The grace of movement, the beauty of line of these animals is an artist's dream. These heads might be sculptured on the frieze of the Parthenon. Once home, the horses are unsaddled, and the mares let loose to run and play with their coats in the vast, sweeping pastures of the lazy VV Ranch. What a playground for any horse. Every care and consideration is given these animals, for they are a precious responsibility. And horsemen the world over can be grateful for men like Van Vleet, who have accepted this responsibility and are devoting their time and their resources to preserving this priceless, ageless heritage, the pure blood of the Arabian horse.